So we want to look at graphing quadratic equations in a little bit more detail using that vertex form. Remember what that looks like. X minus h all squared plus k. So the first thing we want to do is find the vertex. If we have a minus sign and a plus sign here, we know that the vertex is just hk. The next thing we want to do is look at A. Is A positive? Then we know that the parabola will open up. Is A negative? Then we know that the parabola will open down. We want to find another point on the line, on the graph, on the parabola, and we can let x equal any number. Usually we choose a number close to the vertex. And then finally, we use symmetry to help us graph the equation. Because remember, we have this line that passes through the middle, exactly in the middle. So if I have a point over here, I know there will also be a point an equal distance on the other side. Let's look at an example together. So first of all, can you tell me if this graph will open up or down? Well, we're going to look at A. We say that A is positive, so we know that this graph is going to open up. What about the vertex? Well, we said the vertex is the opposite sign on H, so -1, and exactly the same sign on K. So we can put our vertex here at -1, -8. -1, -8, there's our vertex. We need to find another point on this line. The easiest point is probably to find the y-intercept here. We could let x equal 0. So if x is 0, then I have 1 squared, 2 times 1 is 1 minus 8. So when x is 0, y is -6. So there's my second point. And I know my graph is looking like this on this side. But remember, we have that axis of symmetry. So when we went 1 away, we had a point. That means 1 in this direction, we have another point. We were letting x equal 0 to find our second point. The domain is always the set of all real numbers. This graph opens up, so the vertex gives us our lowest point at -8 to infinity. Rewind that bit again if you need to think about it a bit more. All right, in question 2, can you pause your video, decide if the graph opens up or down, and find the vertex? We notice that A is negative, so we know it's going to open down. The vertex is the opposite of the sign here, and it's exactly the same as the sign here. So at 2, 3, we have our vertex, and we know it's going to open down. We could find our y-intercept again, or I said we like a point close to the vertex. Why don't we try x equals 1? So we have -3, 1 minus 2 is -1, -1 squared is +1. -3 plus 3 gives us 0. So when x is 1, y is 0. Again, we have that axis of symmetry. There's a point 1 away in this direction. We're going to have a point 1 away in the other direction. You'll also find a video on the student portal showing you how to graph using Pearson MyLab. Pause your video, fill in the domain and range if you haven't already done so. The domain is again the set of all real numbers. This time our parabola opens down, so the vertex gives us our highest point. K is our highest point. So from negative infinity to K, which is 3. We could also write these as inequalities. Y is less than or equal to 3. And over here, y is greater than or equal to -8. Make sure you spend some time practicing graphing using the Vertex form. There are questions in your e-text you can use for extra practice, and solutions can be found either at the back of your e-text or on the class Moodle page.